Welcome to the Crest Effect, the show for B2B brands who want to grow.
In each episode, we are going to be deep diving into all things branding and marketing that actually builds and drives trust.
Sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
So welcome to the Crest Effect. So today's episode, look, I'm not going to lie.
It's our first one, can you tell?
We are totally stepping outside of our comfort zone here. So I generally am creative director as part of this team, and I like to generally be on that side of the lens. So this is quite awkward sitting here under these lights, but not awkward sitting next to you, Loz.
Oh, thank you.
So, Lauren, I think today in our first episode, why don't we go back down memory lane? Let's have a little chat and tell our audience about our own backgrounds, where it all started for us individually, and how this mighty duo came about and creating Crest Marketing as it is today, and being so well supported by our team.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Naomi. Appreciate that. I think, look, my story is probably very different to yours. Well, I know it's very different to yours. Mm-hmm. Mine comes from corporate. I come from a corporate background, so I'm quite strategy focused because that's what I was really brought up in my younger years, is focusing on strategy and how we deliver that and implement that throughout many stages of projects. I also come from insurance and technology, so very different than, I guess, what I do now in terms of that niche space. But ultimately, the overarching components that I do still are the same. The delivery is still the same. That strategy thought process is still the same. It's just the areas we get to work in are way more fun than insurance and technology. So that was my background for maybe like the first 25 years of my corporate life or working life, I should say. And then COVID hit in 2020 and I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I think I want to go out on my own and do my own thing. And so probably to many people thought I was crazy in terms of why you're doing that in the middle of a pandemic. You should be keeping your very safe, somewhat corporate job. But I decided not to. And so I left the business that I was working for in March of 2020. And I opened my new business in July of 2020. And so I did that for like only a couple of months before I met you. And I guess what I'd learned in that couple of months was strategy needs delivery. And there's no point in having strategy all by itself if you don't actually know how to operationalize that and deliver it into the output, really. And that was, I guess, where our meeting came from. Was I was looking for someone to help my clients deliver their strategy, which is obviously where you come in. So I guess that was really the catalyst for us starting Crest, because we really saw the fact that there's no point in having just delivery in terms of your space or just strategy. A client needs the full gamut in order to be able to make the most of their money spent on marketing. Have I taken the whole story now? Do you?
Basically, but that's okay. I'm sure I'll be able to weave my own flavours in.
Sure. So tell me your story. How did you get here?
Well, I'm very different, very non-corporate. So I probably come from more of a small business background. Forever, I feel like it's a whole lifetime ago now. I don't even want to say how many years. But I sort of started off in working for myself as a photographer many, many, many moons ago. And then within that space, probably fell in love with that whole creative aspect, telling a story. And I think that's where a lot of that passion has come from for me. Even during high school, sort of falling in love with the arts and creative storytelling and things like that. So that's kind of probably where my background has come from in regards to that creative side. But from a business side of things, I kind of, like I said, photography first up as my own small business, and then I became a mama bear quite young, and and played mum for a little while. So which
Naomi has 4 kids, everyone.
thanks. Which obviously was a big role in itself. And then along that journey, though, I guess probably coming out the other side of that and wanting to sort of get back into the workforce, falling into other businesses along the way. When I say falling, like purposely falling, but again, it's always been following passion for me and what my interests have been. So during that time through parenthood, I learned a lot about like holistic health and nutrition, and then studied and became qualified in that, and then started my own like nutrition business for a little while. And then doing that as a business, I actually fell in love more with the marketing side of it than the actual consultation. I found that actually a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say chore, but yeah, I think the marketing, that creative side definitely came more naturally for me. And that's where I decided, actually, I don't want to do this food stuff anymore. I want to actually follow in that passion of creating my own business in that creative sort of side. So I did a lot of freelance work initially. And then what else? Yeah, a lot of freelance. And then I started like as a sole trader, similar to you, with, you know, attracting my own clients, but very much knew where my weaknesses were, and that was probably in like that project management side, and also that strategy side a little bit as well. So again, really good in creating, understanding the vision and the concept and delivering on that. But for those clients that had that sort of bigger end-to-end project, definitely needed to fill some gaps there. And that's where, when we met, it kind of all just made sense. So let's talk about where we met, how we met, all of that.
Well, yeah, we met, we actually met in a mastermind. So we were both at that point running our own businesses independently. And we met in a mastermind to, I guess, try and have someone else to talk to, because business can be really lonely and it can be really hard. And so sometimes, probably more than sometimes, often you need someone that you can talk to about business. And so that's why I started the mastermind. Why did you start it?
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same reason. It is very isolating, sort of trying to run your own business. And I think too, though, I probably, for me, maybe needed a bit of accountability in some aspects of my business, probably just almost showing up for myself in my own probably growth journey to a point. So again, I was always very good at championing all of my clients and seeking success for them. But I think doing it solo can be really hard. So I think I was probably looking for that a little bit in a mastermind. And I'll be honest with you, I think as much as we're obviously getting really good outcomes for our clients working together, I think that's probably my favorite thing in having this partnership, that one, I'm not doing it solo anymore. And like there's a lot of weight on that, on your shoulders too with that. But to be able to share in the success, but also the burdens as well of operating a business. I think it's been, anyway, I've gone off on a tangent here. But anyway.
You want to cut that bit?
No, I'll keep that in. It's authenticity.
So once we kind of met in that mastermind, to be honest, I don't think we really ever looked back. We've pretty much worked together ever since. Well, we have worked together ever since. And really, I think what we did was maybe 2 years in, we rebranded as Crest Marketing. And we did that for a particular reason. We both had different ideas around the business name that we wanted to use. But Naomi is probably one out because that's Crest. Do you want to tell them the story about why we chose Crest as the name?
Well, probably a couple of reasons. I like the connotation Crest comes with, kind of like that scaling a mountain, getting to the peak, things like that. I live in the Glasshouse Mountains. So Crest initially was born out of the view from my office window was Mount Tuparagargan. So I'd always sort of like be able to reflect on that and that always meant something to me. I think, having this like pinnacle, like this peak to kind of always aspire to. So for me, that's what Crest was about. But it was also about a journey. So taking, I think for us, one of our really big values is collaboration. And that looks like to us, I guess, coming alongside of our clients as part of their journey. So it's not about, do this, do that, and blah, blah, blah. It's like actually joining them in that journey in scaling to the top. So for me, I think that's where Crest has has got many meanings, I suppose, but all of them can directly be associated with what we do and our underlying values as well.
Actually, I was about to say you touched on something there before about the values, and I think that is probably like we say, we needed to each other to be able to deliver, but ultimately, I think that our underlying values on how we wanted to serve our client base moving forward was probably the thing that drew us the most together, because not many people, I think, want to serve in the way that we do. And that was probably really important to me to find, not knowing that I wanted a business partner, to find someone who had those same values. And once we kind of clicked and understood on that level that was really important to us, I think the next stages of moving forward became quite easy to go, okay, great. Not only do we match in terms of the value that we offer, but we also want the same things for our clients and how we achieve that. And
yeah, definitely.
I think the outcome of Crest being the chosen name really sums that up. But yeah, so we chose the name Crest, and I think that really sums up not just our values, but the way in which we want to work and how we want to see our clients positioned into their next stage of growth.
So I have a question. So with that, so obviously, like, we were really lucky in finding, I guess, such a great match. And I think, like you just touched on, we didn't really even realize it at the time. But this isn't so much a marketing question, which I know we're wanting to center the podcast around. But I guess from like that initial sort of touch point, what would you say to maybe a business owner that is, I guess, in that growth journey and they're looking at, okay, well, what is next? We've obviously got such a successful story in regards to that. So what's something that you would sort of like to impart on someone maybe in that similar situation?
Yeah, look, I think you probably need to take a step back from what you're doing before you grow and really plan out what that looks like. I say that strategy is my space, and it 100% is. And that's because I want to know where we're heading before we start doing it. Naomi knows that. I ask that quite regularly of us ourselves. Yeah. But that is so that we can make informed decisions about, is this the right choice? Are we doing the right thing? Is this aligning with our values? Is this aligning with where we want to be in 6 months' time? And so if we take that step back and have a look at that and consider those things, part of that process will allow you to consider, what is it that I'm good at and what is it that I'm not good at? And what you want to do, I think, in a small business, especially if you're a founder or an owner, is how do I find someone to fill the gap on the stuff that I'm not good at? Because we already have enough to do. We don't need to be trying to sit out there and learn all these new things while we're trying to grow and scale a business. Yeah. So I think that the concept of bringing in a team that really supports you, be that an internal team or an outsourced team, I think is the difference between someone who can grow and someone who's going to maybe not grow as quickly.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I mean, obviously we found each other as business partners. But yeah, I like that. I like, maybe it's not a business partner to fill that gap. It could definitely well be, a team of individuals, of experts. So we've obviously come a long way just from the two of us. But yeah, how are we going now?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think we're definitely in our growth stage as well. Over the last 12 months, we have brought on 5 new team, or not 5 new team members, but 5 team members completely. So, and the reason we've done that is because we wanted to do end-to-end marketing. We wanted to be able to have specialists in all of those particular areas. Naomi and I have our specialty areas, but we wanted to make sure that when we serviced a client, that we were able to service them from end to end and bring in those specialists to do so. So now I think we have, did I say 5? Yeah, 5.
Yes. I know.
We just hired a new one, so I keep forgetting. And they vary from, like our graphic designer to our videographer, and then as well as our website specialist. And then we have our marketing, our content specialist and our marketing specialist as well. So we're
Like a unicorn of all things.
yes.
She's the glue that holds us all together.
Yeah. And so with all of them combined really allows us to service our customer base in the way that we really wanted to from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
And I guess, before I said about structuring out and knowing where you want to be, I mean, that was one of the first things that we really sort of looked at was what skills do we need that we can't offer? And how do we get them into the business in a way that still delivers the outcome that we want for the client?
Yeah, I think that was definitely really important. And I think because of that, like it did take a while.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It did take a while to find the right person. They didn't only have to have the skill, but they could really get along with that shared the Crest values, right?
Yeah.
So that was obviously really important to us. And I think it's testament now to, I think, even some of the client work that we're taking on currently. We're wrapping up a very busy end of year 2024, and I remember at the time, so we generally close over Christmas.
Yes.
And we were it was a sprint to the finish line.
It was.
We had some pretty big deadlines, but we closed up and we're like, oh, yes, we can start off the year really slowly.
Yeah.
And it'll be bliss. And we had a few internal things.
Maybe we should just preface, our previous 4 years of business had been January, February, sometimes even March was on the slower side of things. We weren't always as crazy busy as we tend to get at the end of the year.
Which we liked.
Which was always, it's nice to kind of come back to work and not have 1,000 emails. But that didn't happen this year.
No, it didn't. It was completely the opposite. But I think you rewind even 6 to 12 months prior to that, and I definitely would have had a heart attack. But I think with working so deliberately on bringing in the team members that we were looking for, but then also I think creating the systems and things to support that.
True.
It's definitely put us in a position now where when a big contract comes in and falls into our lap, obviously not complaining, and we've enjoyed every moment of it, but there was some very tight timelines. I think I'm really proud of how far we have come to then be able to turn around and go, yeah, actually, absolutely. And they weren't a little client either. They were probably one of our biggest ones yet. So I think that's really exciting to see the growth that we have had in such a short period of time, really.
Yeah, and I think also in such a steady way.
Yeah.
I take my hat off to people who can grow overnight. Don't know how you do it.
No.
But I think that the fact that we've done that over and made sure that we can continuously deliver for our clients all the way through with that same level of expectation, I guess, that we have of ourselves, our team has of themselves as well. So I think that's been such a memorable moment, is not just the ability for us to do it, but the fact that people are now coming to us and being like, hey, we know you do this. Will you help us? And I don't think any business founders would ever say that's not an amazing moment.
No, it definitely was one that I felt very chuffed with. So, yeah, it was awesome. So, okay, where to from here? We're obviously starting a podcast.
Yeah, one of our new content managers suggested that we must do a podcast. No, but I think in all seriousness, one of our values is to is collaboration, but also community. And so what we wanted to do was, how do we give back to our community that helps us? And so one of those ways is to share tips and tricks and all of the insider knowledge, I guess, that we have about marketing and branding. And so that's really the basis of this podcast. We love to tell a story. It's for Naomi's favorite thing. And so we want to share that information with you as much as we can in a really easy, digestible, bite-sized way. Please don't come here if you want long-winded, fancy marketing talk. That's not our vibe.
No.
But we are the place if you want actionable, real things that you can take away. And at the end of each show, we anticipate telling you, hey, these are the 3 things you need to either ask yourself or do, and how can you then implement that into your own business?
It's a lot of pressure, Loz.
We can do it.
We can do it, and we look forward to it. So, yeah, bit of a new chapter for us. So, but no, definitely looking forward to seeing what comes next. So in our next episode, we're actually going to be talking about, is your brand playing it too safe? So we will unpack some of our own experiences with client work and, talk about, I don't know, are you playing it too safe? We'll soon find out.